so you've tackled a bunch of like the SlopTubers and the ways in which they have defended Israel's genocide, but they haven't like there's varying degrees of defense of Israel out there, right? And I think what a lot of the SlopTubers have decided to do is instead of like tackling the issue head on and really talking about the politics of it or the policies or the ideology behind Israel's actions or Zionism or any number of different things that they could cover, they've decided to cover this from the aspect of drama by basically positioning themselves against people like myself, yourself, and many other content creators who were unafraid to openly state their opinion about Israel, even immediately after October 7. And they basically rode the wave of enmity for as long as they could.
What does enmity mean? Sorry.
Resentment,
hatred.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Having said that, however, they've been noticeably absent from the conversation. If you notice, like in the past couple of months, I would say,
as the tide is turning on public opinion. Yeah.
And the tide shift has already taken place, and now I think for even their fan bases, like they realize this is even for their fan bases, this is like a non-starter, right? So they have been forced to change tactics, I guess, and like hyper focus on drama on other things.
Yeah, it's like the whatever framework of content that's been used to see like, okay, this guy online said something that's like kind of left politics. I'm right wing, so I'm going to clip that thing out of context, make a whole video about it, make a bunch of money off of it. The videos do well. Everybody makes the same video, so that way it boosts it in the algorithm. They're all friends. They low-key collaborate or they low-key watch each other's videos, and it's the same video where they say, oh, that guy's doing terrorism. That's the framework of how the content ecosystem works. And then a genocide starts happening, or a genocide escalates to the point of a very visible and obvious and well-documented genocide. My goat. And then now, I mean, this is a totally unprecedented thing, but what happens is they apply that same framework to an actual genocide, and all of your criticism of the genocide is towards the people that are opposing it and fighting against it. And at that point, you're helping the genocide. Like, you're backing it. That was the big thing they got mad at me and tried to sue me for, is like, you can either fight against the genocide or back a genocide. There's no middle ground here. And if the only time you spend talking about it is attacking the people that criticize it and attacking the people that have, been vocal anti-Zionists, or attacking the groups in the world that are resisting militarily as terrorists or whatever, then you're helping. You're just backing. It's one or the other, right? And they chose that one because they don't like a YouTuber, right? That's the whole thing.
There is at this point like millions and millions of views that have come from these SlopTube content creators in defense of Israel's genocide. Even if they don't directly say that they're pro-Israel, even if they sometimes say they're anti-Israel, okay? Or even if they say what Israel's doing a genocide. If they spend we all have a finite amount of time on this planet, and certainly as content creators, we all have a limited amount of time to make an impact. If you're using all of that time to attack the pro-Palestinian side as aggressively as possible and never reserve even a fraction of that animosity towards the actual responsible party here, Israel, then you're not pro-Palestine. You're just not. You are a coward who is pro-Israel, but too ashamed to openly say you're pro-Israel. Sure hoping your time here is finite, law. I mean, we're all going to die, chatter.
Wait,
myself included.
It was your birthday a few days ago, right?
Yeah, I'm 34 now. I'm
yeah, so, keep doing what you're doing.
Seen a bunch of drama YouTubers defend Israel just because they don't like one guy has made me lose a lot of faith in humanity. I think it's not necessarily just that a bunch of drama YouTubers defended Israel because they wanted to attack one guy and thought this was a great way to farm clicks and do drama. It's the fact that there are plenty of people in those audiences that didn't go, this seems weird. This feels like you're just attacking this guy because you hate this guy. You're using this genocide as like a point of drama.
Well, part of it is they don't have a lot of them, and I would
like audiences that
don't
exist
have the
that
context,
make me sad.
They don't have the context when you say a clip of, it doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. That doesn't change the dynamic that Palestinians shouldn't be subject to genocide. When they take the first part and then they make a whole 20-minute video about how you love rape, even though all you were saying was Palestine should be free and not genocided, then of course people are gonna, come to a less informed conclusion, especially when they are SlopTuber audiences where they don't have the context. And I think like that's why a lot of times taking the opportunity to provide more context is the most helpful thing to do with those people. But at the end of the day, they, I think drama as like a category, it doesn't really adequately cover what we're talking about here, because we're talking about creators talking about other creators, but there's a lot of undergirding political issues that drama doesn't suffice if you're just, because it gives a sort of a tone that you're just talking about another creator for the sake of talking about them.
Yeah.
When they are doing drama content in the sort of what's the word, format that they've always used, but they're also defending a genocide with it by only attacking anti-genocide advocates. So yeah, it's
I hope that their audiences at the very least, like as the attitude around this shifts, as more and more people come to that recognition. I hope that people in their audiences at the very least, like even if they still fucking hate me or hate you or whoever the fuck, right? They still at least like arrive at the correct position inevitably. That's why I'm more I guess I'm more open-minded about people who are like, oh, now it clicked for me, right? Like the average person online that has only now come to this conclusion. I have a lot less smoke for them than I do for politicians, for example. And my only expectation from those people that come to the conclusion, the correct interpretation of events, that Israel is doing a genocide, and it is perfectly valid, both legally and morally, to resist against the genocide of people, that they don't fucking do this wishy-washy, but, you know, I only came to this conclusion late because the left was too aggressive, or because I don't like Hassan, or because I don't like Noah, I don't like Bad Empanada and the way he was speaking about it. Like, don't try to come in after the fact and then still try to like attack people who have been on the right side on this issue from the start. I know people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And maybe I made you feel really bad. I'm welcoming at this point, as long as you don't fucking consistently keep trying to cope and act as though you would have been right all along if it wasn't for these like leftists who were being annoying to you or something.
Yeah, if all the people that have been like propagating this these attacks against creators that are pro-Palestine or anti-genocide, if all of them decided right now or realize, okay, I was wrong about this, they don't need to address that they were wrong through like I don't even care if they address that they were wrong, and that they don't need to tell us that we were right, because none of that really matters. What matters is that the genocide is happening and they have a platform to say something and shape public perception, and they need to start using it. And like I think even on the left, a lot of people get caught up with this idea that like the history books will reflect poorly upon these people, which is absolutely true, but it gets to a point where people are more focused on the fact that people are wrong and kind of bad people, which is true, for supporting a genocide, rather than, I guess, wanting it to end and wanting to do whatever we can to do that.
Like, I'll give you an example, okay? Mudahar. If Mudahar came out 10 toes down tomorrow and was like, fuck Israel, free Palestine, you know, he doesn't even need to say he was wrong in the past. Like, it would be nice if he did. It would be nice if he apologized to all the people that he fucking smeared just so he could fucking farm content off of it. I would literally be like, all right, good. You know, great. None of this like wishy-washy, it's a genocide, but all the people resisting against the genocide are also bad and scary because they're Muslim.